Hello and welcome to my first ever cleaning video. If you're like me, then you waited until the middle of January to start getting yourself organized for the new year. So come along with me today while I undecorate, clean, organize, take care of the old leftovers, put away seasonal items, and more. So if you're like me and you wait until the middle or the end of January to put all your holiday stuff away, I hope this video inspires you. Most of the cleaning that I do in this video happened over last weekend, but this is a short clip of my lovely husband taking down the Christmas tree the weekend before. So we used a real Christmas tree this year for two reasons. The cats don't like it as much, so they don't climb on it. And we have a toddler now, so we're trying to create some Christmas memories. But you can see that even after we took down the tree, our living room was a disaster, filled with toys, decorations, and laundry that needed to be put away. Just you name it, it was in that room. So after I put my son to bed on Friday night, the weekend after the tree was taken down, I sat down, put away all his toys, put away the laundry, and just tidied up the living room before we could take down the decorations the next day. Hopefully the lighting in these first couple of clips is not too dark for you. If you're a parent, then you understand that the time after your child goes to bed at night is the time that you get stuff done. It's just a lot easier to focus on a task, especially when it comes to cleaning or decluttering or organizing. With my toddler, I find that when I try to clean or organize with him next to me, that's when he wants to take everything out of the cabinets or out of the toy bins. He says, "Ooh, mommy is playing with this. What is it? I want to see too." So that's why I get a lot of my cleaning done at night. So I apologize if the lighting is a bit dark, but the next day, Saturday, I was able to do a lot of kitchen cleaning, and that's in the nice bright light. So those clips are a little more crisp, but you gotta do what you gotta do as a mom, and that often means staying up late to get everything done that you need to get done as an adult, as a homeowner, as a child care provider. But I gotta tell you, it is getting more difficult to take advantage of those late night hours. As you can probably tell, I am pregnant. I am about 7 months along now, and while the second trimester was lovely, lots of energy, this third trimester is kicking my butt. I hit about 8 or 9 o'clock at night, and I'm done a lot of the times. I get very tired. But I try to remember to give myself grace. This is one season of life. It will be messy. It will be tiring. It will be hard. All I can do is my best. All I can do is my best. That's what I try to remember. So the house may be messier than I like, especially after such a busy time of year like the holidays. And that's okay. That's okay. We just do our best, and when we have energy, we get things done. And when we don't, we ask for help. I'm learning how to function in this type of lifestyle and how to be a new mom, especially while pregnant. And I'm getting there. I'm learning how to function, and that's all I can really expect of myself or of anyone else, is that we do our best and we work with what we have. Okay, so I don't know if you can tell, but there are some beige curtains behind where I'm vacuuming. Normally, that toy shelf that you see to the right is in front of that window instead of up against the banister. We found that when we have the shelf against the banister, it makes the room feel small. We have a small house. It was built in the 70s, so I really don't like when it feels cluttered, and that happens so quickly when you live in a small space. So what I'm doing now is I'm preparing to move the toy shelf back into its proper place. So since we had a live tree, there were still some needles on the carpet, so I was vacuuming those up. And then my beautiful husband is helping me to move the toy shelf so that I can finish putting away all of my son's toys and vacuuming up the carpet, because if you get a live tree every year, you know that those needles get everywhere, and you will continue to vacuum up those little guys for months. So I'm doing my best to get up as many as I can and to get the room back in order, or at least back to where it was before the holidays. We have new toys now, we have new gifts for mom and for dad, so finding spaces for those will change the space a little bit, and that's okay. We'll figure it out. Now it is the next day, and my first task for Saturday morning is to tackle this puppy. We do not have a large fridge, and our deep freezer recently broke. So what that means is that all of our cold stuff is now being housed in this fridge, this tiny fridge. And as a result, because we have leftovers still from Christmas, leftovers from New Year's, it's become a bit of a mess. That's an understatement. I feel like Indiana Jones every time I open the fridge, because there's always a booby trap. Something pops out at you. So my first task is to clean this up, wipe it down. I'm doing a very superficial clean here. You know, once a month or sometimes twice a month, depends on how I feel. I will pull out all of the drawers, empty them, get all of the shelving out of the fridge, and then fill up the bathtub with hot water and some Dawn dish soap. Soak them in the bathtub for 30 minutes to an hour. It just depends on how comfortable I am letting the food sit out that long and how dirty the inside of my fridge is. But today is not about that. Today is about getting back on track. I need a fridge that I can actually use. And because it was overflowing with leftovers and expired items, I was not able to use my fridge the way that I needed to. And if I wanted to go grocery shopping, there was no place to put the new food. So I will deep clean this later this month, but right now we just need to make it functional. So I'm doing a very superficial wipe down and just organizing everything that I have. I will say I am disappointed in how much food we did waste, how many leftovers we let go bad, but at this point all we can do is move forward. So here's my clean fridge, and I'll have to remember to do better next holiday season, to plan better for next holiday season so that it doesn't happen the same way it did this year. Okay, so now that the fridge is clean, you can see that we have a lot more to tackle in the kitchen area. The reason why I started with the fridge is because I knew there were a lot of pans and plates and Tupperware items that would need to be washed. So I got those out of the fridge, put them on the counter in the sink, And now I'm gonna start tackling the rest of the kitchen. So I'm starting with some general decluttering just to get it out of the way and so that I can see how many dirty dishes we actually have. Also, we do not have a dishwasher. I know, it's very difficult, especially when you have a lot of dishes to do like I did this Saturday, but it is what it is. So if I'm going to be washing a lot of dishes, then I need counter space. Otherwise, there's nowhere to put all of those clean dishes once they're washed. I suppose you could stop and dry them and put them away every time the dish rack gets full, but honestly, I like to just keep going and get everything cleaned at one time and then let them dry on the counter while I do some other things. Having to stop and dry the dishes over and over again is time consuming, and I'd rather spend that time doing something else. So now that I've gotten some of the counter space cleaned off, I'm making sure that that area next to the sink and the dish rack are clear so that I can start washing those dishes. Here we go. I think a more effective way of washing your dishes by hand is if you have a split sink like I do, to fill up one side of the sink with soapy water and another side of the sink with clean water. Then you would use the soapy side to wash your dishes and you would use the clean water side to rinse your dishes. But we have piled up our dishes in the sink this time and we have to wash them in whatever way we can. So unfortunately, I can't use that method here. And I try not to keep the faucet running the whole time, so I only run it when I need to rinse something off. But I will say, if you don't have a dishwasher like me, that might be a better method than what I'm doing here. But right now, we're just trying to get the dishes done. We're just trying to get back on our feet in terms of kitchen organization. So it is what it is, and we'll get through it. Okay, so I finished cleaning all of the Christmas dishes and all of the pots and pans we used over Christmas and New Year's and whatever that had been in the fridge and hanging out with leftovers. And I didn't shine the sink, but you know, just scrubbed it a little with a sponge. So, and there's all the kids' stuff pile up. So yeah, we got the dishes done, which is huge, and it took about 2 hours to do by hand. So now I'm just going to scrub down the countertops, and then I'll move on to taking down some of the Christmas decorations. Okay. Does this happen to anyone else when they wash the dishes? It's especially apparent that I get water all over myself with my pregnant belly, because I usually can't see below the belly to see how much water I'm actually getting on me, but it's okay. We're not going anywhere today, so. What is your favorite way to clean the stovetop? I usually use this scraper. I think it's by Black & Decker, but it's great at getting up the crusty stuff, and then sometimes I'll use an SOS pad, but I know that everyone has a different way of doing it. So if you have a way that works better for you, I'd love to hear about it. But that's what I do, and I'm just cleaning up all the residue now, and then we'll finish with the counters. Okay, counter and stove top clean, dishes washed. While they finish drying, I'm gonna go and do some undecorating in the other room. So a lot of our decorations are centered around the hearth, and we also have our leftover presents that haven't been put away from Christmas sitting on our hearth as well. We've been able to put the tree away, but this stuff still needs to come down, so that's what I'm gonna work on now. So this is the first year in our new house that we've actually had Christmas stockings, which is really exciting. I've been meaning to make them for years since we got married, and I just haven't had the time. So now that our son is a toddler and he's gonna start remembering Christmas, I decided that this was the year that we would actually have Christmas stockings and that I would get them done. So I took those down. I'm storing them in plastic Ziploc bags because we keep our Christmas bins in the attic of our garage. So the bins can get kind of dusty over the year. I'm not sure why, they just do. So I'm making sure to store them in a way that protects them by putting them in those Ziploc bags. And then after that, I'm putting the Christmas decorations back in their boxes that were on top of the mantle, putting away those Christmas gifts that don't have a home yet, figuring out what their home is, and just doing some general tidying up. So we're very close. I can see the brick underneath all of those Christmas items. It's a very exciting moment for me, and I can't wait to put up our usual decor as well. Our guest book was a wooden plaque that people signed at our wedding, so that's what usually goes above the mantle, and that's what I'm doing here. I'm hanging that up, and yeah, there you go. Look how much cleaner it looks. And now I'm just giving it a nice wipe down to get rid of all the dust and moss from our manger scene that has been left behind. So there you go, that's the living room clean. It's not perfect, but it's better. So now I'm gonna go back to the kitchen. I was able to clear off the dining room table as well, but it needed a nice scrub down. So I'm scrubbing that down because the next thing that I'm gonna do is to put away the Christmas dishes. So this year I had a Marshall's gift card, I had a Macy's gift card, and one of the things that I splurged on is buying Christmas china for our family. So what we did for the month of December is we put away our usual dishes and we put the Christmas china in our regular dish cabinet. So we were using those all throughout December instead of our regular dishes, but now that it's the new year, it's time to put those away. So I'm taking all the clean dishes, putting them away, anything that is part of that Christmas dish set. You can see there are some Christmas dishes here that I'm sorting through. I'm taking and I'm putting them on that clean dining room table so that I can take an inventory of all of those Christmas dishes and prepare to put them away for the year. One of the odd things about our kitchen is that we have this one cabinet on the other side of the countertop. It's right next to our back door. I'm not sure why it's there. I guess it uses that corner space in a way that you wouldn't be able to use when you're on the side of the counter that has the sink. Anyway, it's where we keep a lot of our pots and pans and things that we don't use regularly. I do think I need to go through that cabinet and declutter it, so perhaps I'll do that in another video, but that's what I was doing there a few moments ago, is putting those pots and pans away. Finally, I'm just sorting through the kids' items, putting away the sippy cups. We keep them in the cabinet next to the sink. And we also keep some of our extra coffee mugs up there. So I noticed there were some Christmas ones still in the cabinet. So I got those out, and we're about done with the dishes. I'm really excited to be done with them and have them put away. It's a big relief. We don't have room for a corkboard in our kitchen, so I just put the Christmas cards that we receive on our back door, which means that it's time to put them away and focus on the coffee bar. So you can see we have our Christmas mugs still on the coffee bar. I'm gonna take those down, put them with the rest of the Christmas dishes. They are clean because we use them every day, so I don't have to worry about washing these before putting them away with the rest of the Christmas dishes. So now that I've set those aside, I'm just going through our coffee makers, getting rid of the old pods, giving them a nice wipe so that they're ready to use for the week. And then I'm putting back some of the kitchen appliances that we normally have out when it's not the Christmas season. So there you go. While I was cleaning the coffee bar, I realized that I forgot to include the salt and pepper shakers among the Christmas dishes. So here I'm just transferring the contents to our normal salt and pepper shakers. Then I'm gonna wash those and add them to the Christmas stockpile. Quick tip, use a funnel. I thought I could get away with not using one, but as you can see, I got salt all over the place. So here is what our dish cabinet looked like before. We had our Christmas dishes out. I had a spoon rest that was Christmas themed. And now I've taken all those dishes and put them on the dining room table so that they can be put away. Now, I thought about storing these in a plastic container and putting them in the attic, but I think they're going to break. And it's more convenient for me to store them in our china cabinet. So here I'm pulling out our regular dishes that I kept in some empty drawers over the December month. And now I'm wiping those drawers down and adding in those Christmas dishes. This way I know that they're safe. It makes it easier to store because I don't have to worry about wrapping each individual dish or putting them in a special dish safe box. And it makes them more accessible for the next year. So next year around Christmas time, I can just pull them right out of this cabinet, out of the coffee bar, and put them in our cabinets. If they need a quick rinse from dust, I will do that, but I haven't had that problem with this particular coffee bar. For some of the larger pieces, I am storing them in the cabinet above the refrigerator. And finally, I'm putting our usual dishes back in their proper place. Now, I store our silverware on our counter because we have such a small kitchen, so I like to use that drawer space for something else. I'm just putting away the fancy silverware that I had put out to go with the fancy Christmas dishes and putting back our usual silverware. Now, the last thing on my agenda is to take all of the Christmas linens, the pot holders, the placemats, the tea towels, and give them a nice wash before I store them. So I'm gathering those up, heading downstairs. Here's my kitty that I saw on my way downstairs. She likes to hang out on the banister, so I thought I'd share how cute she is. And now I'm tossing them in the washer to wash. So once those were finished, I just sat at the kitchen table while my son took a nap and I folded them up. You can see that I have regular tea towels mixed in with our Christmas stuff, so I'm separating those out as I sort through and fold them. And this is another item that I don't store in our attic with the rest of our Christmas stuff. I actually keep them in a drawer, a separate holiday drawer in our kitchen. And this drawer not only has Christmas stuff, but I keep all of the holiday tea towels in here. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this inspiring, and good luck cleaning.